We are 4 minutes away from the start of the Western States Insurance Unlimited Heat 1C, and the starting lineup starts with your defending Columbia Cup champion 3 times over and your defending National Unlimited Hydroplane Championship, the U1 Oh Boy Oberto, driven by Steve David.
You've got John Zimmerman, who filled in for Steve David in Detroit last weekend after an accident in Madison, driving the U9. Miss, visit tricities.com.
U17 Miss Red Dot, Kip Brown is the driver.
And the U25 97 Rock with Dr. Ken Muscatel.
Dr. Ken Muscatel, who is the world's fastest forensic psychologist.
And actually had innovative heart surgery not that long ago, too. It's surprising to see him back out here this year.
You're looking at Kenny running up the backstretch right now. Everybody has, as we have said in earlier heats, they have checked in by crossing the start line at speed at least one time during the warm-up period. And now you're looking at Kip Brown, who's headed up the backstretch kind of slowly. But here is where the games start to play, because Steve David has parked himself in lane number 1. And he is at 2 minutes and 52 seconds right now. He cannot come to the exit buoy of the Blue Bridge turn before 1 minute.
Marcus, you look at that boat, it's kind of hard to believe that only 2 weeks ago it was broken down to its sponsons.
Absolutely. They had a big crash in Madison, spent several weeks going ahead and rebuilding the boat, essentially. It still is lacking a little bit of that familiar Oh Boy Oberto paint, but I tell you what, they have rebuilt the boat, and it was a rocket second fastest qualifier this weekend on Friday. So Steve David is ready to rock and roll. He bruised some ribs. He's got a flak jacket on. He's all taped up, but he is ready to rock and roll in the Oh Boy Oberto. And Steve told me that, you know, he really can't afford not to lose these heats. He's got to go out. Sometimes you would say, well, a boat wants to just get into the final and score a few points, score enough points to get into the final. Steve says no, because we missed a race in Detroit with our primary boat. The secondary boat didn't do as well as the primary boat might have, didn't score as many points. For the National High Points Championship in the Air National Guard Unlimited Hydroplane H1 Series, they've got to go out and win every race and every heat and be the fastest qualifier. Well, he almost made it to fastest qualifier, but he did not let up, and so he's going to be going for the win in every heat. He's right beside him now, John Zimmerman in the 9 boat. The Miss Visit tricities.com. I believe that's Ken Muscatel, who is way out, just already starting his turn. They're at a minute and 16, and they're a little bit early for that score-up buoy. They've still got 10 seconds to go, so let's keep a close eye on them, because they're going to get very, very close to that score-up buoy. We still have 3. It looks like everybody except Kip Brown has come to the score-up buoy too soon. I think everybody but Kip Brown has come to the score-up buoy too soon. And now let's watch Kip Brown as he tries to leg it out, get an illegal overlap, and see if he can take that inside lane away from Steve David. And he may have done that, but we'll see as they come up the backstretch and come to the west turn number 2. Now it looks like Steve David is going to settle into lane 1. It'll be Kip Brown's going to be right next door to him. I mean, they could reach out and pat each other on the back. Lane number 3, it looks like it's going to be John Zimmerman, and way on the outside will be Dr. Ken Muscatel. But right now, the only legal score-up, it appears to us, and that's unofficial, would be Kip Brown in the 17 Miss Red Dot. He's going to be in lane number 2 as they come down for the start. You can see in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the start is going to be good. The question is, what is going to be the consequence of coming to that score-up buoy too soon? It was a good start, and Steve David and Kip Brown, we thought this would be the race between these 2 boats. The other 2 boats not as fast and not expected to compete, but we've got to see what is going to happen with that early score-up that Steve David and the other 2 who are trailing. Steve David coming off that exit pin of the Blue Bridge turn right now. He is ahead by about 2/3 of a rooster tail. Kip Brown buried in the rooster tail in lane number 2, but they are neck and neck. About 1 second behind for Kip Brown. He may know that he was the only legal score-up, or he may not. We'll see if he starts to back down. You don't know what the penalty is going to be if, in fact, they didn't score up correctly. Up to the west turn, Steve David inside lane, the first of 3 times around here in the Western States Insurance Unlimited Heat 1C. Kip Brown takes the turn a little wider and has lost some ground. Steve David coming down across the finish line, end of lap number 1 right now. First of 3 times around. Kip Brown about a rooster tail and a half behind him, ends up in second place after 1 lap. And then it is way, way back to our third place boat, the U9 Miss Tri-Cities. Visit MissTriCities.com, and John Zimmerman, he's just crossing as Steve David is already through that Blue Bridge turn. Fourth place boat, just you saw the rooster tail go by. That was Dr. Ken Muscatel, but Steve David just flying that boat up the backstretch. Kip Brown following him by about 2 rooster tails now. You can see the separation on your screen. Now Kip drops out of the screen. He's just that far behind. Lap number 2 of Heat 1C here for the Lamb Weston Columbia Cup. And Steve David legging it out into turn number 2, lap number 2, and he is way, way ahead. Kip Brown just holding on to second place, as we said earlier. Steve David feels he needs to win every heat. Kip Brown does not. He is currently the national high points leader. He can just score a bunch of points, get into the final. And Steve David finishes lap number 2. Kip Brown finishing lap number 2. Steve David through the Blue Bridge turn. This is his final time around. He's about almost half a lap ahead of Dr. Ken Muscatel as he comes off the line. But the backstretch is where your race could be. We got a white flag for John Zimmerman and a white flag for Ken Muscatel as we watch here from our position on the barge.
And you're looking now at the U-17. You can see the distinctive scoop on top and the red and yellow boat as they come into the final turn and head to the finish line.
Okay, now let's take a look at Paul. You and I can see the flags here, and then our cameras cannot. We're looking at Steve David, and they're telling us that Steve David needs another lap, but they are giving him the checkered flag. So we'll have to sort all this out. Steve David comes down to take the checkered flag. The officials on the H1 radio are saying he needs to be having the white flag for another lap around. That would make Kip Brown your winner of Heat 1C. Well, we'll need to sort this out and find out exactly. Now, Steve David is still running at speed.
He's running hard.
He's running hard down in that Blue Bridge turn, so obviously he knows he's got to take another lap. His communicator has told him, and that's his communicator actually is Mike Hansen, who's the crew chief for the team. So he's been told by the H1 officials that Steve David came to that score up a little too early.
That would mean Kip Brown in the U-17 is your winner of Heat 1C.
Yep, and that would also mean John Zimmerman in the U9, Miss Visit TriCities.com, would be second. Third place going to Dr. Ken Muscatel. And Steve David will come around, finish his final lap. He had to go 4, sorry.
So Steve was the only one who came up early.
Apparently so. He was the only one who came up early. It looked like to me everybody was.
Yeah, that is a rare mistake for the veteran.
Steve David now with the checkered flag for 169 points for 4th place. So everybody else is headed back to the pits, and Steve David is as well. So it looks like your finish at this point would be a first place to Kip Brown and the Miss Red Dot, the 17 boat. We expected that to be a great race between Steve David in the Oh Boy Oberto and Kip Brown in the 17. Second place going to the Miss Visit TriCities.com with John Zimmerman, the 9 boat. Third place to Dr. Ken Muscatel, the 97 Rock, the 25 boat. And fourth place to the Oh Boy Oberto and Steve David. And that's how they finished in the Western States Insurance Unlimited Heat 1C.
Mark, you can almost hear the collective groan from the folks in Madison, Indiana, the home port for the Oh Boy Oberto.
Yeah, I want to say a shout out to say hi to Jeff Ayler, our buddy from Madison. We've worked a number of races with him, calling play-by-play, and I know that's got to be a disappointing result for the folks from Madison, Indiana. But we did have a chance. Our Patrick Nolan down in the Tom Denchel Ford pit cam had a chance to talk with Steve David about what happened.
All right, Steve, looked like you're ahead the whole race, had a big lead, but kind of tell us what happened in that one.
Oh, I don't know if you can use the word on TV. We'll try to brain fart. I came up early. It was perfect where I wanted to start, but I picked it up a little bit too early. I should have waited one more buoy, and I jumped the 1-minute buoy by about a second. You have to be behind that until the 1-minute gun fires, so that's where I had the penalty. And then I didn't know if I could cut to the infield to pick that up or if I had to run all the way around, so I just ran all the way around, and by that point I have a 1-lap penalty, so it's all over.
Yeah, kind of a tough way to go, though, because you guys looked like you had good speed, looked like the boat was running well.
Absolutely. We really, it was going to be a very good heat race with 17, but congratulations to Kip. He ran smart. The other two guys ran smart, and I was stupid.
And I know you guys have just got to pick up heat wins. You just kind of move on to the next one, right?
Yeah, to make this final, we're going to have to do really, really well in the next couple of heats.
All right, Steve David, winner of 3 straight Columbia Cup championships. Hopefully things turn around in the later heats.
And really
Thank you.
stupid today. Thanks, Patrick.
All right, thanks.